Thank you so much, TJ. The September 15, 2020 Douglas County Board of Commissioners meeting will come to order. Please allow me to begin this Board of Commission meeting with roll call. District 1, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Present.
District 2, Commissioner and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Terenia Carthen.
Present.
District 4, Commissioner Ann Guider.
Present.
Chairman Ramona Jackson Jones, present. All members of the board are present tonight. Thank you so much. Good evening, Board of Commissioners, and to the citizens of Douglas County. We are pleased to have this evening with us our fire chief, Scott Spencer, with us to lead us in our invocation this evening. And after the invocation, Board of Commissioners and citizens of Douglas County, I ask if you please would join me in reciting the pledge to the flag. Chief Spencer, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let us pray. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for all that you do for us, the many blessings that you give us, even those that we don't deserve. We just thank you for that. Lord, we ask a blessing on our commissioners tonight as they debate the issues that are before them. We ask that you give them clarity of mind, wisdom to understand the different points of view that will be expressed, and the ability to follow their minds and their hearts to make decisions that will be pleasing to you. We ask that you bring our country together, Lord, as only you can. Lord, we ask also that you protect our first responders as they protect our citizens. And we ask that you also protect those that are in the path of Hurricane Sally, keep them safe. Lord, we give you all the glory and all the praise for everything that you do. And it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Fire Chief Spencer, for that remarkable prayer and invocation. Board of Commissioners, would you please join me and also the citizens of Douglas County in reciting the pledge to the flag, please. I will start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Board of Commissioners, and also our citizens of Douglas County. Clerk Lisa Watson, do we have any public comment tonight?
No, ma'am. No one signed up for public comment. We will have someone for the public hearing, but not the public comment.
Okay. Thank you so much, Clerk Watson. We're going to move on now, Board of Commissioners. We have our next on the agenda is our approval of the minutes. You have the minutes of the commission meeting of September 1st, 2020, the work session minutes of August 31st, 2020, and the special call meeting minutes of August 26th through 27th, 2020, and the executive session minutes of August 31st, 2020. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions that need to be made?
No, ma'am.
Okay, being none, the minutes stand approved as presented. All right, Board of Commissioners, we have two proclamations tonight, which is tab 5 and 6. And we'll start with the first proclamation, which is proclaiming September 22nd, 2020 as National American Business Women's Day in Douglas County. And our own Michelle English, the president of the ABWA, will read that proclamation for us. Ms. English, you have the floor.
Thank you,
Hi.
everyone.
We
Thank
can't.
you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I just first want to thank you, the Board of Commissioners, for giving us this proclamation. Thank you for Lisa Watson and Marcita Scharnhorst for coordinating this. American Business Women's Day. Whereas the American Business Women's Association was founded in Kansas City, Missouri on September 22nd, 1949, and will be commemorating its 70th anniversary in 2020. And whereas the ABWA mission statement is to bring together bring together business women of diverse occupations for them to help themselves and others grow personally and professionally through leadership, education, networking support, and national recognition, and has dedicated itself to more than 500,000 women. And Whereas ABWA recognizes the important contributions that more than 6.5 million American working women and 13.6 million women owned and equally owned companies are making to this country. And whereas ABWA's National Scholarship Trust, the Stephen Buffton Memorial Education Fund, has contributed more than 17 million in college scholarships, grants, and loans to more than 16,000 women since its inception in 1953. And whereas the 2020 National Women's Leadership Conference of the American Business Women's Association will be held virtually October 14th through 17th. Now, therefore, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize the many contributions women make in the marketplace by declaring September 22nd, 2020 American Business Women's Day in Douglas County. So proclaimed this 15th day of September 2020. Thank you.
Okay, you are so welcome. First of all, please allow me to just say congratulations on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, and certainly we will give you a virtual hand clap. We're going to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate all the wonderful things that the women here in Douglas County, particularly as you represent the National American Business Women Association here in Douglas County, and we appreciate your all your talent, your time, and all the contributions that you make in the community. We see you; you're very visible. I've had an opportunity, along with some of the other commissioners, and I believe Mayor Robinson, we had an opportunity to stop by last year and celebrate with you. So, just much success on your continued efforts here in Douglas County. So, thank you so very much. With that being said, Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation. Do we have a motion to approve, Board of Commissioners?
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have the motion was Commissioner Guider, the second, Commissioner Carthen. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Board of Commissioners, when I call your district, please indicate your response. District 1, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Yes.
District 2 and Commissioner and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Yes.
District 3, Commissioner Tarenia Carthen.
Yes.
District 4, Commissioner Ann Guider.
Yes.
All right. And Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones. Yes. Yes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries for this proclamation. And congratulations, and keep up the good work in the community. Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you.
everything that you all do.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners, thank you so much for that. We're going to move on to tab number 6, which is celebrating Georgia Highlands College 50th anniversary. And that proclamation will be read by Julia Aria. And I ask that if you could just mute your microphones so we won't pick up any static tonight. And with no further ado, Julia, if you come forth, please. And I believe you have I thought I saw the president with you tonight as well. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
There you are, Mr. Green, President Green, Dr. Green, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Chairman Jackson Jones. We are so pleased to be here. Julia, all yours. The floor is yours.
Georgia Highlands College 50th anniversary. Whereas in fall 1970, recognizing the value of accessible higher education and increased economic growth across the Northwest Georgia region, Floyd Junior College opened its first location in Rome, Georgia, with 19 faculty members teaching 545 students. And whereas attaining and maintaining accreditation from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, growing enrollment, expanding to additional location with sites in Rome, Cartersville, Dallas, Marietta, and Douglasville, and graduating hundreds of students each year. The name of the college was changed to Georgia Highlands College to better reflect its regional reach. And whereas now holding the second highest enrollment among state colleges in Georgia, with more than 300 full-time and part-time faculty teaching thousands of students across the Northwest Georgia region each year. And whereas Georgia Highland College continues to grow and build upon its mission to provide a quality of excellence in all its programs and pathways, while expanding course offerings and degree offerings to ensure students in our community have access to rapidly growing fields and careers in our area at a low cost that allows them to graduate with little to no debt after completion. And whereas on this, the college's 50th anniversary, the students, faculty, staff, alumni, retirees, and our whole community celebrate the past and future of Georgia Highlands College. Now, therefore, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners do hereby call upon all residents of Douglas County to recognize the contributions of Georgia Highlands College and celebrate its legacy as an exceptional institution with a bright future and a continuous dedication to the students in our community, the value of their study, and the elimination of any cost barrier to higher education. As I proclaim this, the 2021 academic year, to be a celebration of the 50th anniversary of Georgia Highlands College in Douglas County. So proclaim this 15th day of September 2020.
Wow, congratulations on 50 years. That's amazing. We appreciate all the education that you provide here in Douglas County for our citizens. It is a springboard to their future. And I wanted to just provide a moment and thank you so much, Julia. And Dr. Green would like, if you could, just provide a few remarks. I know this is a big day, a big year for Georgia Highlands here, particularly in Douglasville. So if you could just share a few remarks, and I will call for the motion with the Board of Commissioners. Dr. Green, you have the floor. We can't hear you. Turn your mic on.
He needs to unmute his mic.
Unmute your mic. He said he did. Wow. Okay.
It's still muted though. Sorry.
Okay.
Chairman, if he could just hang up and call right back in or connect right back, it would probably fix the problem.
Yeah, call. Okay, if you could just call right back in, Doctor, I'm going to certainly allow you to give some remarks after. Let me just see if I can allow you to call back in. Okay. Let's give him just a moment. Citizens and also Board of Commissioners, he'll be calling us right back. I wanted Dr. Green to provide some. There he is. Lisa, he's back. Okay, Dr. Green.
How's that? Is it working?
That's much better. There you go.
All right. Well, let me start by saying, Chair Jackson Jones, thank you so much for allowing us to be here this evening. I want to say thank you to my friend and colleague, Ray, because she did an amazing job. We are humbled and blessed to serve the citizens of Douglas County, and we look forward to serving them far into the future. And allow me to also congratulate President Michelle English and ABWA for their award and their proclamation tonight as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green. And with no further ado, I will certainly pivot back to my Board of Commissioners, and I'm going to call for a motion. Board of Commissioners, you have heard the proclamation tonight celebrating Georgia Highlands College 50th anniversary. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and that was Commissioner Vice Chairman Robinson who provided the so move, and then our second, I heard Commissioner Mitchell That's the voice I heard first. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Board of Commissioners, any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please, when I call your district, please respond with your answer or your response. District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
That's a yes vote.
Okay. District 2 Commissioner and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Yes.
District 3 Commissioner Serenia Carthen.
Yes.
District 4 Commissioner Ann Guider.
Yes.
Ramona Jackson Jones, Chairman, yes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. So we want to give you all a virtual hand clap. Congratulations on your 50 years. Typically, we would have you come up, both you and ABWA, and take photographs, but we just, I'm quite sure this is better than photographs. You'll be able to rewind the tape a little later tonight and look at it and celebrate. So congratulations again on lifelong learning here in Douglas County, and certainly it's beneficial to our citizens. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Green. All right, Board of Commissioners, we're going to move on. We have a public hearing tonight, which is tab number 7. Tab number 7 is to consider amending the Douglas County Code of Ordinances to adjust package retail Sunday alcohol sales of malt beverages and wine to begin at 11 a.m. and end at 12 midnight, pursuant to the House Bill 879, which went into law on August 3rd, 2020. We have our own manager, Ron Roberts, here from Planning and Zoning, who will provide an update or enlighten our Board of Commissioners first before I open this public hearing.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners and citizens of Douglas County. Yes, Madam Chair, as you so eloquently put it, yes, this is an opportunity with the passage of House Bill 879 to make some changes to our code section 3-46 determining the hours of operation. So this actually gives us as a county an opportunity to change our ordinance and drop it back 90 minutes to allow for the sale of, as you said, basically beer and wine, malted beverages and wine to begin at 11 a.m. on Sunday versus what is currently in our code at 12:30 p.m. I just wanted to note that we looked up and there's about 66 vendors, businesses throughout the county that actually sell beer and wine currently. So these vendors would be at a in competition with their neighboring businesses that in the city of Villa Rica or in the city of Douglasville that are moving to also make this change to the ordinance, to their ordinances. So that's where I'll leave it right now, and so that you can open the public hearing and we can hear from any citizens or answer any questions from the Board of Commissioners themselves.
Thank you so much, Manager Roberts. I appreciate you. And Clerk, at this time, do we have anyone signed up for the public hearing? I will be opening this public hearing. This public hearing, in fact, is now open. And Clerk, I will ask you, first of all, to have anyone signed up to speak, and then if you would just provide instructions and allow our citizens to come speak accordingly.
Yes,
Clerk Watson, you have the floor.
Yes, ma'am. We had one individual sign up. I don't know if there may be others on the line who will want to speak after him. Mr. Richard Siegel signed up. You have 3 minutes to make your statement. At the end of those 3 minutes, if you're still making your statement, I will interrupt you and let you know to wrap up your comment. I think that's it, Chairman. So, Mr. Siegel, if you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you speak up just a little?
Yes. How's this?
That's better.
All right. Thank you. This is Richard Siegel. HB 879 gives you, the governing body of Douglas County, the authority to change the starting times for Sunday retail package sales from the current 12:30 p.m. to 11 a.m. without putting it to the voters for a vote. Making this change will put the county's supermarkets, convenience stores, etc., on a level playing field with its restaurants, who can already start serving alcohol at 11 a.m. on Sundays, since the passage of the vote by the voters of the brunch bill 2 years ago. This change will also put the county on a level playing field with the city of Douglasville, who has already adopted this change this past Sunday. Retailers in the city of Douglasville were able to sell at 11 a.m. So that, I think there's more of a housekeeping thing. It's just you already have your restaurants starting at 11. Let your supermarkets, convenience stores, et cetera, do it as well. So I ask your favorable consideration, and I yield the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Siegel. Clerk, anyone else? That you can certainly just scan the virtual system and see if we have anyone else want to speak before I close the public hearing.
Yes, ma'am, and I'll go ahead and ask as well. We did have other visitors. Is there any other citizens that would like to speak on this? Okay, I guess we don't.
Okay, thank you so much, Clerk Watson. This public hearing is now closed. All right, Board of Commissioners, you have heard.
Chairman Jones, did you
Yes.
ask if there was anybody opposed to it before you
I
closed?
what I did, I asked if anyone wanted to speak tonight, but I'll do that, Commissioner. Before I close this public hearing, do we have anyone here that's opposed to this ordinance coming forward, which is House Bill 879? Do we have anyone on the line that's opposed? Okay. All right, being none, this public hearing is closed. Thank you so much, Commissioner Carthen, for bringing that to my attention. Wanted to make sure I covered both sides. All right, Board of Commissioners, you haven't had an opportunity, certainly before I call for a motion, would I ask to see if there's any comments from the Board of Commissioners? Okay. With that being said, Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to consider amending the Douglas County Code of Ordinance to adjust the packaged retail Sunday sales alcohols, which is House Bill 879, which went into law on August 3rd, 2020. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. When I call you district, please provide your response. District 1, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Yes.
Okay. District 2 and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Affirmative.
Okay. District 3, Commissioner Terenia Carthen.
Yes.
Okay. District 4, Commissioner Ann Guider.
Yes.
Ramona Jackson Jones, Chairman, yes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. So we're going to move on to public hearing. Certainly this is great. We're going to move on to tab number 8, authorization to amend the budget to reflect part-time furloughs in the amount of 6% in the remaining balance on the attached part-time general ledger accounts. And the general fund total is $54,116.24, and fire and EMS fund total is $7,048.55, and solid waste fund is the total is $967.07. Board of Commissioners, before I call for a motion, I certainly would like our county administrator to weigh in and explain this a little more to us, and he provided some insight to me today to kind of allow me to wrap my mind around number one, particularly the fire and EMS fund total. County Administrator, would you take it from here and explain to our Board of Commissioners what this all means?
Yes, ma'am. Well, Frederick Perry and Sabrina and Jennifer in finance, Frederick's in HR, they figured all the calculations as far as reducing everybody's part-time. So it's a 6% reduction. So fire and EMS budget for part-time is $160,000. They have $106,000 remaining in their budget, and we only have 3.5 months left in the year. That's I think it's $7,000 decrease in their part-time budget. They have enough funding to finish out the year. That shouldn't be an issue at all.
Okay, thank you. I believe that was one of the questions we had yesterday. All right, well, thank you so much, County Administrator. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion for authorization to amend the budget to reflect the part-time furloughs in the amount of 6%?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a second from Commissioner Carthen. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board of Commissioners? Okay. We have a motion and a second. When I call you district, please provide your response. District 1, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Yes.
Okay. District 2 and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Yes.
District 3, Commissioner Tarenia Carthen.
Yes.
District 4, Commissioner Ann Guider.
No.
Okay. And then Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, yes. We have a 4-1 vote, and the motion carries with the yeses of 4. All right, we're going to move on to tab number 9. Authorization to amend the budget to reflect the adopted millage rate of 12.563 in the amount of $9,580.99. Do we have a motion to approve, Board of Commissioners?
So moved.
Okay. Second. Okay. Who was that? Was that Commissioner Carthen? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Okay. Wait a minute. We have a motion and a second. I was going to say any discussion. Yes. Okay. Commissioner Robinson.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
Yes. Director Hallman, are you present?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Greetings. All right, so 12 point, did I hear 12.653 or 12.63? What?
12.563.
Okay, 12.563. And several years ago, what was the millage rate when we raised it? You recall?
I'm sorry. Will you
What
say
was
that
the-
again?
Yeah, what was the prior millage rate when we raised it maybe about 10 years ago? What was that millage rate that we raised it to?
I would have to look that up. I know last year's was 10.213.
No, I need to know the number. I need to know what was that rate. Does Sabrina know? You guys have said it before. I need it for the point I'm about to make.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioner Robinson, let me pull that up real quick.
I believe I have it, Commissioner. It's 12. It was 12.25 in 2013. And Sabrina, you may have something else to add.
Yes, what Madam Chair said is correct, and it was originally 9.9.
So it went from 9.9 to 12.23. And Jennifer, what did it go from for us now? Or what was the number again? It was 10 what last year?
It's 10.213. And what was adopted just a couple of weeks ago was 12.563.
All right, so we had to, for the citizens, we're having to, or we had to, we made a decision as a Board of Commissioners to adopt a millage rate to reflect our current status. Whether it was for budgetary, was it for pandemic, whether it was for historical, sort of an antiquated policy, a perfect storm, we had to make the adjustment. Leadership does that. It does what it has to do. I think it's important that from my position for District 2, that's what I campaigned on, fiscal policy reform. I've said it for 5 years, we're going the wrong way. If you ever seen that movie, it's called Unstoppable with Denzel Washington. I had to get on the back of that thing, and I had to yank this thing. I had to yank it, right? Because it's like, okay, y'all not getting this. This thing is on a roll. I had to slow that thing down, and I do appreciate it. I don't regret it. You had to do what you had to do. And that's what it is, making tough decisions, right? You had to make a business decision. You had to put all things aside, take all things in consideration, and then you had to make a decision. It was for the health of this county. This was straight business, right? We had to make that call. I do appreciate those who joined with this decision, especially Madam Carthen. I get it. but it was what we had to do, right? Like you can't play with this. You can't gamble. You can't take other positions and hope it's going to go away. It doesn't exist. My time here on this board has been something that I've always been committed to get the numbers right, but not just reading it, but comprehending. Do y'all get how all this comes together, right? And it was just that rollback was just it was wrong. It had run its course, right? And it makes a difference. So today, yeah, we're having to make a much tougher decision. Or we made a tough decision. Somebody turn off your.
We're
mics
getting
for me.
some feedback. Turn your mics off.
Yeah, it was a hard decision, but it was the right decision. Everybody had to have skin in the game. No exceptions, no exclusionary. Not my area, your area, or not your area, but my area. No, everybody. Nobody was exempt. And so we will survive this. We've already moved on and through this decision. Again, during times, I'm going to say it one more time for the record. You don't roll back during times of good. This was the time to roll back, but we didn't get it. Last year, I had to sort of get them 3 votes that says, okay, we got to stop this. Last year, we stopped it. Right. This year, we're reaffirming not roll back, but we also had to raise the millage rate to sort of adjust for our revenues. It is what it is. You know, and I'll take the weight. I'll take the hit. But I know that, rest assured, that I can sleep well at night, that, okay, it put us in a good position, right? It's just for a season. It's just a season. We'll get through this. But I do appreciate the board. I do appreciate the dissenting votes because they kept it real. It's like, okay, I get it. Thank you both. Appreciate you. Y'all know I get it. But this is one of those, this is that one decision. You know, I've been here 12 years, basically. We do, you know, I always say we do 15 decisions per meeting, twice a month. That's what, 30 times 12 is 360. I've been here over 10 years. 3,000 votes, over 3,000, but there's only been maybe 2 that's like, okay, this one matters, right? It was that critical, right? It was that important. And so for that, I get it. Now, how we adjusted against that, it was discretion. All right. So what you don't cut, what you don't adjust, your number was still your number. There was no in between. You could have cut all the way through, you could have raised it all the way through, or somewhere in the middle. We fell a little short of what I was really shooting for. Don't get it wrong. I thought we still left some on the table, but I had to go with what's called the will of the board. And it's always the middle will always win. That's how you move the board. It's the middle. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and yield the floor, Madam Chair. Thank you for giving me an extra minute. I was keeping up with my time, but I just wanted to say for the record, I acknowledge this. There's other parts to this. I think we still got to deal with what I want to call the, I want to acknowledge one thing. So Jennifer, with that being said, my question is, if we adopt this, right, and all we're doing is what? Why didn't we do this last time? And again, welcome back. Welcome back, Director Hallman. And so this is more of a it's neither here nor there, but I wasn't quite sure because it had been 10 years and I could not answer the question when my peers were asking me. I didn't remember. When doing something like that, above and beyond the rollback, in essence, should we have done this during the adoption of the millage rate? I was just curious why we had to do third step. One is to advertise, one to adopt, but why are we doing this step here?
It was just a technicality. When we adopted the millage rate, if we would have added the language and amend the budget, then it would have automatically gave us authorization to amend the budget. So like you said, since it's been around 10 years since we've done this, we will definitely make a note that, you know, in the future, if there's any difference within what we budgeted for our tax revenue versus how the digest comes in, then we will make sure that we say authorization to adopt a resolution and the corresponding budget amendment.
Okay. And again, please don't get me wrong. I do understand the impact on our citizens, and I do understand our public safety, no different than the military. I get it. I get its impact, right? If we didn't want the impact on public safety, then you could have raised it. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So that's amongst the 5 of us. If anybody has some alternatives, then you got to get to 3. This is one of those where, again, we appreciate what the administration, you had to bring something forward for us to consider. But this is one of those where I understand. Again, I get the furlough days. Again, we're raising it against what we didn't cut or adjust. I get the furlough days. To Madam Chair's point yesterday, well, there's 27 pay periods. Normally, you only get 26. Them 5 furlough days, I get it. It's a net. I'm not insensitive to our firefighters. I was at one of my listening posts just this past weekend and met a guy out of District 4, and he was there, and he was a gentleman who worked in fire, one of them high-ranking guys from a different city up north, and he explained its impact. I understand there were some deeper adjustments we could have made. I mean, we've got a lot of overtime, and that's something that we've just. It was discretion of leadership. It's like, well, you can either let that overtime go, or if you want to deal with bandit capacity, then okay, take away the overtime. If on average our firefighters make about 60 grand based on the report I got from Fred Perry, well, the difference between 40 something and 6 something, but okay, do the math. You could have hired 20 people. That's all the people you can put in that brand new fire station that's going to get built in District 2 out there on Thornton. Or you could have took that same 20 people and spread them over the 10 stations, and you could have got from 2 to maybe 3 to maybe 4 per engine, right? It's just choice. There's not a right or wrong. It's not evil versus good. It's just how it evolved. Now, I do recognize we're having a change of guard. There may be a change of approach to this. Our job is just to do oversight. It's to listen. It's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, I get it. I get it. But it's important. Let's not discount that we do see what we're looking at. We do see how it moves. But if we didn't do if we're going to do an adjustment, then everybody needs to get the adjustment, right? That's everybody in public safety, the coroner, the sheriff, EMS, everybody. Right. I yield the floor, Madam Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Vice Chairman Robinson. And certainly just wanted to, Commissioner Guider, I'm sorry, I see your hand and your face. Commissioner Guider, you have a comment?
Yes. I don't know why they keep bringing up 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we had 2 years of negative growth in the digest. That was during the fall of all the property. But anyway, we all look at this budget thing a little differently, and we all have different opinions. Some of us are more conservative, some are more progressive and spend more. But we've got to also remember, when we are talking about the rollback, in the past 4 years, we've had a splosh that's been paying for just about everything in all of our departments that we would normally have in the general fund. So not only did we have this huge tax increase and everything, we also are getting a splosh, a one cent on the dollar from our citizens too. So, and all those things used to be in the general fund up until 2016, I think. So for the past 4 years, we've had that splosh. And then on top of that, we've had this large increase. But this is water under the dam, and I don't know why it keeps being brought up. It is what it is. You've already passed the millage rate, so I don't understand why we keep fighting the same fights over and over. And I yield back.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I certainly want to reiterate, we had a splosh when we built the jail, and I believe that was 2012. So it has not been 10 years since we've had a splosh in this county. You just built one project. However, I do want to say that a pandemic is on a sizable scale of a Great Depression, and it does not even compare to a Great Recession. Certainly 1.5 million state and local government employees have been laid off starting in May of this year, and the numbers are still growing. And those numbers, they've been laid off and furloughed. And the people that are among those, or should I say the disciplines that are among the layoffs include firefighters, teachers, policemen, sanitation workers. So in a nutshell, no one is exempt from a pandemic. This is the first time this happened in 100 years. The Board of Commissioners, we had 6 great years, starting from 2014 to 2019, and then we supported our citizens with a margin of $8 million rollback. So I just want to clear my mind. 6 years. Villa Rica went 11 years without increasing taxes, and they had to increase taxes this year. Villa Rica certainly spoke to the mayor, McDougal, and he said his heart is broken as well as mine. But in a pandemic, you have to do what you got to do so we can sustain both. And this is again separating your emotions from your responsibility of keeping an economy and then keeping the county viable at this time. And that's all of us, all 160,000 citizens mean the world to me. And we're going to do what we have to do to keep this county going. And I believe in my heart that we're going to be okay. So with that being said, we have a motion and a second, Board of Commissioners. We have a motion and a second. Please provide your response, Commissioner District 1.
Madam Chair, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
One thing. All right, so I just want to make sure. So this additional, we're just booking the revenue. Jennifer, one more time. We're just booking the revenue. This is just money in the general fund, right? And this is for the 2020 budget. I'm not in the future, but it's just for right now. And that is, it's unassigned. Is that accurate?
This money is increasing the revenue in order to have the budget balanced to what y'all adopted when you adopted the millage rate. Therefore, it is assigned in the sense that it's made up, it's included in your entire general fund budget. It makes the general fund budget whole.
Okay. All right, but it's not tied to any specific thing. I'm not pointing to any one thing. I'm just saying it's just there, correct?
It is there as part of the total revenues in order to offset the total expenditures for 2019.
What, 2019 or
2020? 2020. I apologize.
It's okay. We're good. We're good. All right. I just want to, again, we talked about, we didn't really talk about it in finance, but we sort of alluded in doing the finance committee. But I just, for my peers' sake, just wanted to make sure that we understand that this is just the revenue that we're booking. It normally would have been done as part of the millage rate conversation we had a couple of weeks ago. And so this, to Jennifer's point, is just technical. There is no different movement. This is not to cover something else. It would have been done at that same time. Is that accurate, Jennifer?
That is accurate.
All right. I've got peace. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and second on the Commissioner Mitchell.
Yeah. I just think just for one clarity, Jennifer, what does this have any effect or any bearing on the COVID monies? The $5 million, I think it is. What this whole year, this whole makeup has those dollars? Any?
This particular amendment is strictly just the revenue that is generated from the millage rate. Doesn't have anything to do with the CARES funding or any COVID reimbursement.
And the answer to that is no bearing whatsoever. Has nothing to do with that, those dollars.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Okay. All righty. It's just that as Vice Chairman Robinson stated, this was one of those ones where this is kind of odd. Why are we here? And I think we all have been asking that question. And I appreciate Vice Chairman Robinson bringing it to the forefront, because that's what we all were asking. Like, as long as I've been here, we've never done it this way. But it's because of the verbiage that wasn't attached to the motion when they made the motion to raise the rate of the millage rate and come to this resolve, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Jennifer, and welcome back. And the other part of this, I'll just add. I know we're sometime going back mentioning water under the bridge, but it's just that. It is water under the bridge that was noted and probably still need to be noted that was water under the bridge. I've had a couple of meetings with a couple of constituents about poor management. As I stated to them, and I'll state it again, I don't think it's poor management. I think it's more of an aggressive budget and the mere fact of COVID and others and the rollbacks. I just want to kind of make that known, and I think the general public know who speaks with me understand my position about all of this as to how we got here. As I've always tried to say, as we did 10 years ago, and that's where we are today. And, as being stated by my colleagues, we're here now, and we've got to deal with it, and the numbers are what they are. Yes, the citizens have been blessed for several years with the rollback, and have been blessed with over probably $7 to $8 million. And now it's one of those where the monies are needed now to address a budget shortfall and putting us back. And Jennifer, give me these numbers because I didn't realize they were that close in relation to the numbers, roughly the millage rate several years ago to where we are today. It sounds to me like, listen to the numbers, they're practically, a half or quarter of a mil off, correct?
Yes, sir. If I remember correctly, I think we went from 9.9 to 12.25.
Mm-hmm.
And then this time we went from 10.213 to 12.563. So the rate is very close to where we were the last time that we had to do an increase. So like you said, if we can hold this and have a different philosophy or policy about the millage rate and be able to not roll back and be able to experience, we know the expenditures on the budget side experience inflationary growth.
Yes.
So we know we're gonna have to cover that as time goes on. Pandemic or non-pandemic, inflation just occurs.
Exactly.
So if we can also hold that millage rate so that we can garner that additional revenue from the inflationary growth in the digest and not roll back, that would definitely help offset some of the inflationary growth on the expenditure side.
And Jennifer, I'll speak for you, not that you would echo my sentiments. That's what I said years ago. As we did this, as we got to this point, 10 years ago and to this date, if you roll back, the only way out, at least I always call it the easy way out, is to increase the millage rate. It's okay. But that's kind of your choice. Not meaning yours, Jennifer, but your choice in doing that. So that's why we are where we are. But comparing, the 12.25 to the 12.563, I don't think it's that bad. It's not that bad off because of the benefit of the roughly, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, $7 to $8 million of benefits for the last 7-8 years, I guess.
That is correct.
Yeah. And these are some rough numbers. So, I mean, I just, I've never been a proponent for a millage rate increase, but I've always told not only this administration, but the prior administration, if you do that, what I call rollback, if you don't correctly do the SDS, if you don't correctly deal with lost when that time come around, which we're fastly approaching those types of meetings as well, then you'll put yourself in this position that we're in and having to deal with it. So with that, I'll yield, Madam Chair. Thank you. And my apologies for going over my couple of minutes, but I'll leave it at that. I yield.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Commissioner Carthen?
Oh, let it go. Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman. I just have one question for Jennifer. Jennifer, welcome back. I'm glad to hear your voice. I hadn't had a chance to call you, but since we do have you on the line tonight, can you tell me what our projected revenue will be for 2020 with this millage rate acceptance and what we are amending the budget to?
Yes, I don't have the exact dollar, but you're looking around 99 million and some change, just under 100 million.
Of revenues collected for 2020 is what we're projecting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you so much. I yield the floor, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, thank you so
Madam Chair.
much. Vice Chairman Robinson, and then we're going.
Yeah, we'll move on. But again, this is important, and I appreciate the comment. All right, we're in negative growth. We raise the rate. And I asked the question, okay, what's the number? So if you needed 12.5 and you raised rate, why did you give it back? Right? Why was it given back? And then why did you start using your money that you got, that nice little $24 million, Jennifer, that we were sitting on? We're rolling it back, but we decided to use it for capital expenditures. You could have been paying, like, look at the money we spent on them buildings. You could have paid the sheriff, deputies. You could have paid the fire people. This is one thing you've always said. No, I had no problem with being that advocate for that 7.5% for the sheriff. I had no problem if that somebody wants to advocate for the fire. I have no problem. Advocate. But you got to recognize that burn rate when you put them big buildings in there. What happens, guys? This thing should have carried. If you would have left the rate alone, quit tinkering with the rate. That's why the Fed is separate from politics and the president. Leave it alone, and we would have been fine. We would have rolled through here, but you accelerated your burn rate. If you got natural inflation, you accelerated the cash that you got by rolling back and building these buildings. You didn't take care of the people. So we can't get convenient. I mean, yeah, I get it. Now, we wouldn't have talked about this had it not been on the agenda. I wouldn't have made my comment if the comment hadn't been made yesterday about water under the bridge. All right, so it's important, but just for the object lesson. You can't ignore history, so you don't repeat. That's the whole point, that you look back, right? Okay, so what did we go through? Pretend like it didn't happen. No, you got to get context, right? And so that's important. It's so that for future, we're not going to go through this administration. We won't experience this again. But for those who will come after us, the 5 people that will replace us sometime in the future, you will have this meeting, this set of meetings to realize, like, okay, y'all get to stand on something. We didn't talk like this back then. It was silent. We raised that thing to, no, I said it was silent. We rolled through that thing. Now all of a sudden it's gonna get all convened and loud. Can't be convenient, right? So I just, for the record, the math is the math, truth is truth. Now how we want to walk to the point, we walk away and have different views, I respect that. But everybody weighs in. Everybody calls it, and we go from there. I yield to Madam Chair. Thank you.
Vice Chairman, if you could clarify, I see you, Commissioner Guida, just 1 second. What buildings could you clarify the buildings? What buildings were you referring to for the record?
I mean, just for the record, again, you took money out the general fund right before I came in to buy land, 10 million. It's like out the general fund. So we're accelerating the use of our operating budget for capital expenditures, right? So you got a SPLOST, and that should have stayed up there where the jail and the things that we're building today, right? But you're talking about the animal shelter that we spent $5 million cash, the Taj Mahal of Deer Lake Park, a dog shelter. Really? I get it, but really, right? We began to what I want to call it. We bought the, what do you want to call it? The tax commission building with that 1.5. I think. Whether Madam Guide or Commissioner Mitchell, one of them sort of identified that as being an asset we go after. Okay, and how we need to go about doing. I'm not a real estate guy. I don't do that. But then by the time we were all said and done, we spent about what $4 million on that. Then you got the courthouse. So we took care of the judicial. Look what we're taking care of government functions. We took care of the sheriff. We took care of the judicial. We took care of the tax commissioner. Right. We took care of animal control. So we get that. But out of all those decisions, what was for the people? You know, and so you took your cash that you had, that you could have really took care of your employees. I get it. Pay them what they're worth. Like, don't go through this argument that we don't care. I care. It's a choice. Get to 3, right? And I get that will increase the burden associated with, but okay. It's like, but they're worth that. Oh, but we got these nice buildings though. Oh my God, y'all do it right here in Douglas County. Excellent. But what about the people? What about staff? I hear y'all, staff. So I mean, as we go forward, like, no, pay them. So it increases the budget, but it's about them. They're carrying the burden. So but we got these nice buildings. I have a problem with that, which is why I stood strong and advocated for that. And Alvin's one to push. No, let's do this HR study. What are they worth? Let's recalculate. Well, okay, but we can spot high-level people for $30,000 a pop. In them executive sessions, we get convenient. But what about that person that's making the minimum wage here? I get compression. It was just choice, though, guys. It's just choice. And I think that now we all went through this educational process here, that now we all are more enlightened. See, the thing is that if you only have certain knowledge, people will use knowledge as power, and they'll try to move things. No, I try to like, okay, here's the truth. Now take a position, but let's not pretend like what it is and what it's not. Let's not put misinformation out there. All right, this is the truth. This is how this went down. But it was just choice. It was that time, in a moment in time, and every decision we made choice. I yield, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And a lot of those buildings, I just wanted, just for the record, is before Ramona. There we go. I see you, Commissioner Guider. You have the floor, and then we're going to wrap up. All those buildings.
Commissioner Robinson asked, why didn't we leave the millage rate up there 10 years ago? As I said before that, there was 2 years of negative growth in the digest. The digest grows 6 to 10% almost every year, but it was negative for those 2 years because the market, the property values decreased. They had to decrease them. Then when it started, the property values started going back up, we lowered the millage rate for the people. So, and if my memory serves me correctly, that Taj Mahal animal shelter was mainly your idea because we wanted to put a metal building, and you would not have that. It had to be a nice looking building. So, and I even argued, well, we already have a metal building out there at Mack Park. How come we can't have another one for an animal shelter? You would not have that. You would not have on the sports center, the youth center over in Boundary Waters, you weren't satisfied with 2 courts for the basketball. It had to be 3 courts and has to be a 2-story building that requires an elevator. You're the one that pushes these expensive buildings when we are trying to do less expensive ones. But we had to do something as far as moving offices in the courthouse. We had outgrown the courthouse. The courts had already told us they had to have more room. We did not have parking space for the public. And to buy a 2-story building that was going to house three different departments: the fleet department, the tax assessor's office, the tax commissioner's tag and tax office, for $1.5 million was a steal. Now, it wasn't my idea to put the facade on it that everybody else wanted. I didn't want to put brick all the way around. Somebody else did. I do not remember who. But I'm just saying, it's not just one person. It's not one administration. We've all had a hand of it in it. But don't deny it 10 years later and say you didn't have a hand in it, because the budget is what causes the millage rate to go up. A 30% budget was increased in December the prior year. It had to go up. The millage rate did. So with that, I give up.
You yield, Commissioner? Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second on the floor. When I call you district, please respond. District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Madam Chair, I'm ready to vote. I just wasn't kind of finished with the wrap up of the discussion, so my apologies.
Would you like to speak again, Commissioner?
Absolutely.
Okay, you have the floor.
And this will be brief. I hear my colleagues and I thoroughly understand everybody's position, but just going back through the SPLOST, whether it's the tier SPLOST for the jail, that was a community request. That was a Douglas Countyans request. The community center out of Splost was a request from this community. Whether we like it or not, that was a request from the community. Through Parks and Rec, we scaled it down to a degree because if we had allowed what the community request, we would have actually spent a whole lot more. So I think as we talk about water on the bridge, yes, it is. But however, we also have to look at the operational costs as I speak about from time and time again. Yes, this will be a great building, but after Splost is where we tend to go wrong because we don't think about that, whether it's this administration or the prior administration. We have to, as commissioners, be the gatekeeper of us reassuring that the monies that are spent are realistically being spent because also paying attention to inflation. And that's where we tend to go wrong. We don't understand that both go hand in glove, that if your revenue stream has dried up or even stopped, however, you got inflation on top of that that's going in a different direction and you're rolling back to that degree. And that's what puts you in these types of positions. The prior administration with Lost, I shared that same sentiment of if we don't get this Lost right, then the county will lose in revenue. Well, we did for the 10 years of the adjustments of Lost with the various cities that we're part of. So there's a lot that goes on here that I think everybody, especially the general public, needs to understand, because we're a little bit more advanced in knowing what's actually going on internally versus what the general public really knows. They only know that the millage rate went up, not realizing it wasn't just because of an animal shelter that we want to reassure that community that is going to be something nice and not just have a dog park in the face of their community. It is going to be tin can laid out. No. We have to strive for excellence because that's what our citizens expect. So to kind of point the finger at one or the other, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I think we all took a part in all of this as to where we are. And we need to continue to take ownership of it, in which I think we have took total ownership. So I just want us to kind of, take a step back and stop trying to point fingers, but do more of understanding as to how we got here and why we're here. So now with that being said, Madam Chair, I'm ready to vote.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner. District 1, Commissioner Henry Mitchell III, your response, your vote?
That would be a yes.
Okay. District 2, Commissioner and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Affirmative.
Okay. District 3, Commissioner Tarenia Carthen.
Yes.
District 4, Commissioner Ann Guider.
I abstain because I didn't vote for the budget, so.
Okay. And Ramona Jackson Jones, the chairman, yes. We have 4 yeses and 1 abstain, and the motion carries. Okay, Board of Commissioners, we're going to move on to our next topic, which is our new business item. We have approval of Miller Acres FLSA resolutions in the total amount of $20,000 and authorize the chairman to sign related documents. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve? And do we need some Attorney Bernard, if you could chime in and just give just a quick.
Madam Chair, you couldn't hear me. I said yes, but if you.
Oh, you said yes. Okay, good. I didn't know if everybody was quiet and needed some more clarification. So we have a motion. So do we have a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, Board of Commissioners?
Chair.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner.
I think you were headed down the right path. If you could allow Attorney Bernard to give us a little bit of information.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Attorney Bernard, are you on the line? I believe you are.
This simply wraps up a Fair Labor Standards Act case.
Can you speak up a little louder, Attorney, please?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, okay, speak up just a little louder. We hear you. Keep going.
A Fair Labor Standard Act claim involving the sheriff's department that's been resolved, and it needs your affirmative approval. The sheriff has already authorized us to enter into it, and then it will be taken care of.
Chairman
Okay.
Jones, will this amount come out of our budget, or will this come out of the sheriff's budget to pay this Fair Labor Claim Act?
Mark Teal, are you on the line?
Yes, Mark, if you could respond to Commissioner Crofton's question.
Yes, I'm here. Our normal protocol is it comes out of each respective department's budget.
Okay, so this is one that we don't have to account for. His office will account for it out of his budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield.
Okay, thank you. Board of Commissioners, we have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second, and then I ask about the discussion. We'll move on. District 1 Commissioner, if you could provide your answer, your response, your vote.
That would be a yes vote.
Okay, District 2 and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Yes.
District 3 Commissioner Tarenia Carthen.
Yes.
District 4 Commissioner Ann Guider.
Yes.
Ramona Jackson Jones, Chairman, yes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries, Board. We're going to move on to
Chairman
our.
Jones.
Yes,
Sorry, Chairman Jones. I did not hear who made the second.
that was me, myself,
Oh,
Chairman
okay.
Jones.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, you're welcome. Board of Commissioners, we're going to move on to our consent agenda, and please keep in mind all items are subject to final legal review. Tab number 11, authorization to accept funds from the State Court Technology Fund in the amount of $2,488.92 for 3 laptops for the Solicitor General's office staff. Tab number 12, authorization to accept funds from the State Court Technology Fund in the amount of $224.58 for 3 webcams for the Solicitor General's office staff. Tab number 13, authorization to approve the 2021 Douglas County Employee Benefit Offerings as recommended by the Benefits Committee and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Tab number 14, authorization to approve change order number 1 for Fire Station number 11 on Dallas Highway, the sewer project in the amount of $3,660 upon recommendation of the Fire and EMS Committee and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Tab number 15, authorization to award the bid for the purchase of an ambulance to Custom Works in the amount of $223,699 to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds as recommended by the Fire and EMS Committee and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. And last but not least, tab number 16, authorization to renew the security systems maintenance agreement with Network Cabling Infrastructures Incorporation for the annex building located at 6200 Fairburn Road in the amount of $8,561 and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any particular item before we move on? We have a motion and a second. Being no discussion, when I call you district, please provide your response. District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Yes.
District 2 Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Yes.
District 3 Commissioner Tarenia Carthen.
Yes.
District 4 Commissioner Ann Guider.
Yes.
Ramona Jackson Jones, Chairman, yes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, Board of Commissioners, for the consent agenda, and the motion carries. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move on. We have approval of expenses, Board of Commissioners. I know you've had an opportunity to look at your expenses. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please, when I call your district, please provide your response. District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Yes.
District
Yes.
2. Okay, I heard you, Commissioner. District 2 Commissioner.
Yes.
District 3 Commissioner.
Yes.
District 4 Commissioner,
Yes.
and Chairman, yes. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries for the approval of the expenses. Board of Commissioners, before I call on our Director of Communications, Rick Martin, to provide announcements, do you have any special announcements or remarks for our citizens?
Madam Chair, yes, just.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just.
Chairman Robinson.
Yep. Sort of previous question, but then to the citizens. And this is important for the work that's being done out there at Deer Lake Park. It's an important work. I got to thank that committee that made sure that we fulfilled the commitment that was made when we decided to put an animal shelter in front of them citizens' homes. So to Maureen Linden, to the man in the yellow hat I called, when y'all, to put a public asset in front of private homes on some land, and it was unacceptable to me. You know, I fought for you. But like, while I can't stop this, I'm going to influence it. As when somebody told me, well, nobody wants an animal shelter in their district. And I said, I'll take it. But y'all gonna make this nice. What you're not gonna do is marginalize the value of them people's home. I always err on the side, anytime you're dealing with commercial government, what's the impact to the citizens? So I have to acknowledge that. Thank you, Commissioner Mitchell, for making sure them tennis courts. The best asset out at that Deer Lake cannot be an animal shelter. That's insane. And so for that, I acknowledge that, yes, I take responsibility for ensuring, okay, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this right, right? You're gonna do this right. So yeah, that's how you influence the agenda. And that's how you make sure that, okay, if you're gonna do it, you gotta influence it. I wasn't controlling it, but I did influence it. And I accept responsibility on behalf of my citizens, since I had your back. I made sure that you had a boardroom in there that you could use, and I had to make it multi-purpose. You're not gonna drop that type of thing in front of somebody's house when you had Mount Carmel and other places as a location, and we didn't vote on any of that. So y'all know I had your back. So for the citizens, we're going to continue. Parks and Rec, please, y'all keep up the good work. Thank you for holding the system accountable for the words that were committed. That's going to be a nice facility. I yield, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chairman Robinson. Commissioner Carthen?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let the citizens know that on this Saturday, September 19th, starting at 9 a.m. from 9 to 3 p.m. at Word of Faith Cathedral, Congressman David Scott and myself, CORE, Cobb and Douglas Public Health, and other entities have gathered together to give out free COVID testing and free food. We're asking the community who is in need of testing and who is in need of non-perishable items to come out on Saturday morning and receive the food and the free testing. Again, that's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Word of Faith Cathedral. That's 212 Riverside Parkway, Austell, Georgia. I look forward to seeing everyone. Thank you. I yield.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Carthen. All right, any other remarks from the Board of Commissioners? All right, I will yield to you, our Communications Director, Rick Martin.
Yes, Madam Chair. Good evening again, Chairman Jones, Board of Commissioners, staff, citizens. 2 additional announcements to make. The first one's regarding public comment. Citizens may register to speak for Board of Commissioners work sessions and commission meetings by emailing Lisa Watson. You can email her at lwatson@co.douglas.ga.us or via voicemail at 770-920-7416. That again is 770-920-7416. Citizens may register to speak at work sessions by 5 p.m. on the Friday before the work session and or by 5 p.m. on Monday prior to Tuesday's commission meeting. As a reminder, the public is invited to comment on any topic at the work session. However, comments for the commission meeting must be germane to the agenda. The Communications and Community Relations Department is producing 4 virtual September Saturdays show celebrations instead of celebrating in our traditional way on the courthouse grounds to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, the coronavirus. These celebrations are airing on Saturday, of each month on DCTV 23 and streamed on DCTV 23's Facebook and Douglas County Happenings Facebook page. Each show has a specific theme honoring first responders, community, healthcare workers, and our armed forces. Coming up this Saturday, September 19th at 7 o'clock, the show's theme will be healthcare workers. And the shows consist with additional special interviews with members of the Board of Commissioners delivering remarks, musical performances, and special guests. We hope you'll join us and watch on various platforms. Commissioner Mitchell and Arlena Hardy from the Communications Department are hosts. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you so much, Director of Communications, Rick Martin. Thank you so much. Do we have Ron Roberts on the line? I wanted to see if he could just bring everyone up to speed, particularly our citizens, and remind everyone about the census. Are you still on the line, Ron Roberts? Okay. Well, what I'll do, I will remind our citizens of Douglas County, and also Board of Commissioners, if you could, for this, we have September 30th as our deadline for the census, and it's very important that all of us be counted, and so we could shape our future. So I'm asking if everyone, if you just make a commitment to, if you reach out to one or two folks or people and just ask them have they completed their census as we get closer. Douglas County was in the top 12 counties that certainly exceeded their in-person, should I say, response rate initially. So we have a star by our name, but we still have work to do. I had a conversation with Mr. Lois Turner, who is from the federal government, on yesterday for the census, and she said she's using Douglas County as a standard and a model because we are working so hard to get the message out. But again, at Georgia, just when you look at Georgia, overall, we're behind. Right now, we are about 82%, and we're number 38 out of all the states in the United States in terms of our performance. So I just encourage you all to just keep pressing on the census. We have about another 2 weeks to go, and I believe that Douglas County will come out on top. And then last but not least, I always like to become very personal with our citizens and remind you about the coronavirus is still ever present in the county. Certainly, we talked about it on yesterday. This is a marathon and not a sprint. We don't have a date set yet when a vaccine will be available. We do have hope, though, and that's very important. So I just encourage you to continue with the 3 W's. Please make sure that you wash your hands repeatedly throughout the day. Ask that you watch your social distancing, and then last but not least, wear a mask when in public as required by CDC, or should I say as recommended by CDC. I would like to say that our citizens are doing a great job wearing masks. When I'm out and about and looking around, I appreciate those who are on board. Certainly with the healthcare background, it just is so refreshing to see that we're trying to remain disciplined in this moment. And right now, our numbers are looking good according to our public health physician, Dr. Memark. So just wanted to share that good news with you. Last but not least, wanted to share with you that we have 3,373 citizens who have tested positive for COVID-19 here in Douglas County. We have 388 citizens who have experienced hospitalizations, and then last but not least, we have, of course, and this is so sad to say, we have 69 citizens who have lost their lives as a result of COVID-19. So I ask that we all remain diligent as we fight this invisible virus. Again, thank you, Board of Commissioners. Thank you, citizens of Douglas County. Please stay safe, and if there's nothing else to come before this board, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.